What's going on, guys? Alex Eubank here. Today's gonna be a really good video. It's gonna be on my biggest gym mistakes and the biggest tips that I can give you guys as an experienced lifter to a new one. Trying to learn how to do this whole camera angle. I switched the room and I tried changing up the lighting a bit. I don't know if you can see it's Redskins fan, Chase Young, pretty hype about that. It's Ryan Kerrigan, signed picture right there for his first interception when he played. So I got a list here of different training tips. I'm getting a lot of DMs, a lot of people messaging me on TikTok and Instagram, and they're always asking me relatively the same questions, and I usually end up giving out the same advice or the same information over and over again. So I thought I might as well make a video for my best advice that I can give, especially to someone that's kind of newer to lifting. So we're just gonna get right into it. So the first thing I'm gonna be going over is that's a mistake is training for big numbers. Training for strength training, typical 5x5 lifts, stuff like that. I see that as a big mistake. Now, if you are a power lifter or if you are someone who is doing sports and your main goal is just to kind of be strong, I guess that'll work for you. But if you're trying to build a physique, and I feel like 99% of the people who follow me or watch me probably go for trying to get a physique. If you're going to be going to try to do that, the best thing you can do that I can give you for advice for it is pump training. Now, pump training completely changed my physique when I started doing it. Now, what pump training is, it's kind of focusing more on the muscle you're using, mind muscle connections, worrying about metabolic stress more, higher repetitions, higher time under tension, focusing on the stretch, stuff like that, rather than just kind of lifting up weights and stuff like that, benching, bouncing off your chest and all that. Yeah, so the three principles of building muscle, if I remember correctly, is mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage. Now, mechanical tension is lifting heavier. It's heavier lifting over time. Metabolic stress is high repetitions. It's cellular swelling, meaning like getting a really, really big pump. Muscle damage is the tearing of muscle fibers, such as really focusing on the eccentric portion of a lift, where you're really kind of tearing up them fibers. But so pump training kind of tries to focus on all three of those aspects. A chest day, let's say, if you're doing going into benching, instead of going in right into your flat bench, just kind of do your typical 5x5. For pump training, what you would do is you would do maybe 4 to 5 sets on a pec deck or a cable fly or a dumbbell fly, about 15 reps for those sets, really getting a pump, so that when you go into your bench press next, you really can feel your chest working rather than any other muscle, so that you can focus on quality reps rather than the strength. Now, you're not going to be able to lift as much, but again, if you're training for aesthetics and a physique, this is what you got to do. Next mistake is trying to eat too healthy and not having knowledge of nutrition. So for example, when I started lifting, I completely cut out all carbs, which is stupid. I'm basically doing the Atkins diet. Definitely not something smart to do. You're gonna feel like shit. Keto is definitely something for some people, but I don't see it as a good diet because it's kind of hard to do it long term. You need carbs. You need healthy fats. When you kind of start working out, don't just jump into this craze of oh, I need spinach, I need broccoli, I need to eat healthy, I can't eat anything. My diet is very balanced. I eat about 70 to 80% healthy, and then the rest kind of whatever I want, and I'm happy with that. Now, obviously, if I ate 100% healthy, I definitely could have maybe a better physique, but you have to kind of find a balance where you're kind of happy with yourself and then happy with your lifestyle at the same time. Yeah, the biggest thing I would say when it comes to nutrition is just focusing on getting enough quality protein in, and then stay away from all the sugars. Try to stay away from dairy and stuff like that. I always tell people try to cut out dairy, try to cut out sugars, and keep your protein high, gram per pound of body weight. All right, next one is extreme bulking / extreme cutting. So a lot of people hit me up and they'll tell me what their macros are, and one guy told me he was eating only 1,200 calories a day and he was trying to cut, and I was like, that is so bad. Now, if you cut down that much, your body's smart. Your metabolism is going to instantly slow down, so it's going to be even harder for you to burn fat if you go that low, because it's damn, you're not getting enough nutrients in, so your body's going to start slowing down its processes so it can save that energy. But yeah, extreme bulking, so dirty bulking, you don't need to do that. You're just going to gain a ton of extra fluff, extra fat, and you'll be oh, well, I gained 20 pounds of muscle in my bulking phase. Bullshit. You gain probably about 15 pounds of fat and water, and maybe 5 pounds of muscle or whatever in a year or something like that. Building muscle and building a good physique is a marathon, not a sprint. You can't just go through a whole month, or a whole year of bulking up, eating whatever you want, and you probably be getting stronger and getting bigger, but a lot of it again is gonna be water and fat. If you stay closer to maintenance, what I recommend to do is try to get to a lower body fat first. Start out around 11 to 12% body fat where you're kind of lean. Then focus on doing a solid bulk, but try to stay around maintenance and just work out hard. And over time, you know, year, 2 year, 3 years, you're gonna really be building up your physique the right way while being able to stay lean, so you don't get too fat or too unhealthy and stuff like that. Same goes for cutting. Now, if you want to try to cut a little bit, I'd recommend staying around maintenance, but then just doing extra cardio, eating a little bit less here and there. You know, doing simple stuff like that. You don't need to just completely crash your calories. Stop eating everything. You're content with the way you're eating. You need to make sure that you're satisfied with the food that you're eating. You're not like killing yourself, starving yourself, but you're also kind of keeping a healthy balance where you kind of are gaining the goals and the physique that you want. So yeah, basically, don't dirty bulk, don't crash cut. That's a good one. I never heard of that, crash cut. That's good. So when it comes to training techniques in the gym, free weights and plate loaded machines are gonna reign supreme over anything else, I believe. Cables also are good, but always stick to free weights. I built a lot of my physique off of just regular dumbbells, barbells, and stuff like that. I'm really big into like classic physique, so like the golden era of bodybuilding where they were really big on free weights. Like if you watch Pumping Iron, big fan of that. That's kind of my similar type of training style, except I do a little bit more cable work and blood flow work. So like don't expect to be on like one of them ghetto little chest press machines where you kind of like put the pin in and yeah, you ain't gonna be really getting that big from that. You gotta stick to your main compound lifts. Now, I've pretty much been at the same number on my bench press for like the longest time, but I've been getting bigger. Now, this is where I kind of talk about how you don't need to be super strong to have big muscles. You can be super skinny and be really strong. The way you lift the weight is how you get big muscles. So I've been completely changing up my programming. So I'm focusing a lot more on higher reps. I'm doing 12 reps a minimum for all of my workouts and my exercises. So even my bench press. So like you'll see later in this video, I was doing like 185 on bench press, like flat bench for one of my first sets, which is obviously light. If you are an experienced lifter, meaning you got 3 to 4 years, you got to change your training up. You can't really be doing pump training that much. You need to be training to failure almost every set if you really want to get that extra boost to make your body grow. So I've recently changed up my training style. You'll see in this chest and back video, if I put it in this video, I really changed up my style of training where I'm going to failure like every set now. And I'm really focusing on time under tension. If you are a beginning lifter, you can focus more on pump training, you know, really kind of repping out, feeling the muscle work rather than going to failure every set. All right, next thing is working out too long. I used to work out for up to 2 hours when I started working out because I felt like the more time I was in the gym, the more sets I did, all this volume, you know, hitting 30 sets for chest, 30 sets for back in one day. You're killing your gains doing that. Your body can only take so much. When you're in the gym so long, your body's gonna start releasing this hormone called cortisol. Cortisol is very bad. It's the killer gains. It's a hormone. It's like from your like adrenal glands. It's released like kind of when you're stressed out a lot. It completely is catabolic. It will tear down your muscle tissue. So I'd say around, keep an average max time in the gym around an hour. So 50 minutes to about an hour 15 max. That's kind of what I try to keep a time frame on. Usually when I start my workout, I'll set an alarm so that I don't go overboard with it. Completely changed up my training style now. I'm working on a new 3-day split. I'm doing chest back. Next day I'm doing shoulders, triceps. Next day I'm doing legs, biceps. I'm working each muscle twice a week. I'm still getting the set numbers that I would want each week. 30 for chest, back, legs, 20 for shoulders and arms. And I'm really focusing on time under tension, high rep counts, 12 to 15 now. I'm not going anywhere under that, but I'm really putting my mind to it. I'm really focusing on every rep rather than just doing 8 reps and then focusing on the last few. I'm trying to remember every rep, kind of really focus on using the right fibers. When you get really advanced, that's what you have to do to kind of really push yourself to the next level. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Please check out my Instagram, check out my TikTok. Yeah, so I hope you guys are having a great day. Stay safe during this quarantine. I'll see you guys in the next video.